Hello students, this is Shahid sir. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is biotechnology and its application. Previously we have discussed biotechnology and its processes. So in this chapter we will discuss how now we can use the biotechnology in different sectors. So this is the definition of biotechnology that we have already discussed in our previous chapter. That is, biotechnology is the use of biology or living organism to develop useful product for human. So it is the technology whatever we are using to develop useful product for us. So that is the biotechnology. Now from this technology, how can we get benefit? That we will discuss in this chapter. So there are some sectors given here where you can see there are the advantages of biotechnology. So some sectors here you can see where there are the applications of biotechnology. These sectors are medicine, environment, agriculture and industries. So every sector we can use the biotechnology. So in this chapter we will discuss the use of biotechnology in each sector. So we'll begin with application in agriculture. So what are the application of biotechnology in agriculture field? How can we increase our food production with the help of biotechnology? So how to increase the food production? So we are having these three techniques. These are nothing but the use of biotechnology. So that is namely, first one, agrochemical based agriculture, then organic agriculture and genetically engineered crop based agriculture. So we'll discuss each one by one. First one, agrochemical based agriculture. So what do you mean by agrochemical based agriculture? So agrochemical means nothing but the fertilizers or pesticides, the chemical whatever we are using to improve our food production, to increase our food production. So that is the agrochemical, nothing it is but pesticides or the chemicals. So these are the pesticides or fertilizers. So by using the pesticides or fertilizers, we can increase our food production. So the use of agrochemical improve the yield by replenishing the soil with the depleted nutrient, by adding the essential nutrient in the soil, and control the losses caused by pest and diseases. These are the advantages of agrochemical based agriculture. So whenever we are using the fertilizers or pesticides, whenever we are using the fertilizers, we are providing them nutrient. If we are providing them nutrients, so plant will grow fast, plant will grow better. And whenever we are using the pesticides, so it will kill the pest, whichever the things harm the plant, this pesticides will kill them. So by doing this, we can increase our food production. Now there are some disadvantages also of agrochemical based agriculture. These disadvantages are mainly, first one, it is very costly. So for farmer it is very costly to use. So maybe some farmer cannot afford this. This is one of the disadvantage of agrochemical based agriculture. Then second one is long-term use may cause soil pollution. So long-term use of these fertilizers, when we are using these fertilizers, normally fertilizers whatever we have to use have nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Whenever we are using these fertilizers, the one of the side effect of this fertilizers, it can decrease the nutrient, the level of other nutrient in the soil. So long-term use of this fertilizers may cause the soil pollution. The second technique, the second method is organic agriculture. So first of all, what do you mean by organic agriculture? So it uses living organisms or their product. That's why it is said to be the organic agriculture, because they are using living organism or their product to increase the food production. That's why it is said to be the organic agriculture. So in this method, what we are using, in this method we are using the living organism or the product of living organism to increase our crop yield. Now practices of organic agriculture are given below. These practices are biofertilizers, then biopesticides, vermicomposting. So these are some of the techniques biofertilizers, biopesticides and vermicomposting, which are included in organic agriculture. But still, there are also some disadvantages or some limitations of organic agriculture. One of the major limitation of this organic agriculture is it is not enough to feed the growing population. As we know that our population, Indian population, we are at second number on the population. So our population, population increases, the need also increases, and by using organic agriculture we cannot fulfill our need. So this is the major limitation of this organic agriculture. Next, the third technique is genetically engineered crop based agriculture. Now from the name you can easily understand what is it. Genetically engineered crop based agriculture. So genetically engineered means what? Some of the genes of that crop has changed artificially. So in lab we change some of the genes of that crop to increase our yield. So it is said to be the genetically engineered crop based agriculture. So it increases in yield with existing varieties are not possible using conventional breeding. Hence the alternate path is to genetically modify the crop plant. So normally what is happening? Conventional breeding, from the conventional breeding, whatever the conventional breeding is there, they are using the species which species are already there. If we are using the same species which are already there, not modified species, we can get a new product, but the same, there is no gene change. So whatever the new species we are getting, their species are not modified, their species are also having the same characters like their parents, like their parent species. So we need to modify the genes of that crop plant. If we are able to modify the genes of that crop plant, we can increase the productivity of our plant, or we can give some features, some characteristics to that crop which may be beneficial. So because of this we need to use genetically engineered crop based agriculture. From that we can change the genes of some crop and we can get a new varieties of plant. This new varieties of plant may have some beneficial characteristics. Because of that we need to do this technique. So genetically modified crops have certain advantages over conventional breeding techniques. Some advantages are that any gene. Now what is the meaning of this genetically modified crop? Genetically modified crop means the normal crop, in that normal crop some of the genes, we are changing some of the genes of that crop. If we are changing that gene, means we are changing the characters of that crop. So this way we modify. So how to do this? So any genes from any organism can be used for transfer into the host plant to be modified. So any character from any plant, from one species to the other species, we can transfer. So in this, whatever the character we want, that type of character we can get from other species, and from that species we can get that character. From that we can get that gene and transfer that gene to our desirable crop, so that we can change the characteristics of our desirable crop. Now only the desirable gene is affected here. So in this technique only our desirable gene is affected, not whole characters are affected. Only one character is affected which we need to change, because in this method whatever we are doing, in this method we are changing only one gene, only a segment of gene we are adding here. If we are adding a segment of gene which is responsible for only one character, so our crop, our desirable crop change only one character, other characters are same. So this is the major advantage of this technique, that only the desirable change is affected. Now advantages of genetically modified crops. So first one, tolerant to abiotic stresses. Genetically modified crop, whatever we are forming, that genetically modified crops are having some advantages. These advantages are, first advantage is tolerant to abiotic stress. So it can survive in some stress condition like drought, heat, extreme heat, extreme cold, salinity. So if these external factors are there, then also our crop will survive. There is no effect to our production, crop production. So that is the advantage, that is the major advantage of genetically modified crop. Now the other advantage is reduced reliance on chemical pesticides. So pest resistance crop. So as I told you, in our genetically modified crop, whatever the character we need to add, that type of character we can add in our desirable crop. So if we are adding pest resistance character, pest resistance gene, so we not need to use the pesticides, because already it is having that control gene will control everything, so we no need to use the pesticides. So from this our cost will reduce. Now next is help to reduce post harvest losses. So same thing here, also we are adding some gene. Because of these genes also it has to reduce the post harvest losses. Then next thing is it increased efficiency of mineral usage by plant. This prevent early exhaustion of fertility of the soil. So increase efficiency of mineral usage by the plant. So we have modified the plant, so this plant now can get nutrient easily. Next, enhance nutrient value of the food, like vitamins, like vitamin A. Example is vitamin A enriched rice. So whatever the character we need to add in our plant, we can add that type of character, we can add that type of gene. So this is one of the example. We can add a nutritional value, some nutritional value we can efficiently use this plant by adding some additional nutrient value. Suppose some crop is there which is not having vitamin A. From that crop we are not getting vitamin A, or if we are getting vitamin A but in little amount. So if we modify the gene which is responsible for vitamin A, so we can get vitamin A in high quantity. So these are some advantages of biotechnology in different field. Thank you.